So, little pervert blogger Seth Simons is out to troll comedians for their hypocrisy again, and I am here for it. If you don't know, Seth Simons created a website called Comedy Fee Tracker where you can track comedians' pay over various publicly available records, and it's finally making comedians pay transparent, which we all should want. But Ben Avery was talking about the website with Devin Costa on Ben Avery Live, and they had a very different take to mine. Take a look.
Why is Seth Simons going through and getting this stuff?
His whole thing is like every comedian is basically inherently is like an evil person, and look at how much money we give evil people. Like every single person's a white supremacist.
He's mad at Schultz about COVID.
What is this clip?
This is what Devin Costa is referring to. And for the most part, I think Seth is probably right. Most famous comedians in the US nowadays are heavily right-wing. Even when they deny it, they are Nazi-coded and we all know it. Plus, it's true that they're all mostly evil, because if they weren't, ticket prices wouldn't be so astronomical these days. And this has been a long-standing point Seth Simon has brought up throughout the years, so I wonder why they're getting so defensive.
You see Seth Simons is back in the news?
No, who's he trying to take down now?
So Seth Simons has this new comedy website thing where you can look up how much money people are getting paid to do stand-up.
Okay, and he's upset.
He's like the most pocket-watching guy of all time. So he's like, here's how much Sam Morril made at Buffalo University or something.
Right, and then
he shows the bill
somehow.
I guess I don't really know. I think the I guess the moral transgression of the whole thing is that they make money. I guess I don't know. I thought it was the content of like their character and the things they say, but apparently it's compounded by the fact that they make a lot of money, which means it's very transparent. He's bitter and broke.
Yeah.
Here's the weirdest thing I'll say about Seth Simons. The most impressive thing to me is that in an age where you can make so much money shitting on comedy, he's made $0 doing it. Yeah. There are YouTube channels that make videos all day long about Whitney Cummings changing the color of her hair, and they make six figures doing this.
Right.
Seth Simons doesn't have a dime, not a nickel, and he's been doing this for like a decade now, wildly unsuccessful. This is the gold rush of thinking comedy is gay and sucks ass. He can't make a buck, not $1, not one. I mean, look at him. Look at him here.
Yeah.
He goes, here's how much John Mulaney made at Ball State University. Go to comedyfees.com.
And that's a weird guy to go after. You'd think he likes John Mulaney. Why would he care?
They both seem really bitter if you ask me, and they're both coming off like haters. Seth Simons making public the crazy amount of money comedians are making when the fans are paying way too much for tickets is a very good thing, and I think only shills would have any problem with it. So I think both Ben and Devin are acting pathetic. And it's disgusting. Comedian pay being transparent can only be a good thing. And I resent watching both Ben and Devin pretend they don't know why this would be good or why anyone would want to start a website to monitor comedian pay. It forces comedians to be accountable to their fans when they are ripping them off nonstop, and it shows the major problem between what comedians make and how much fans are paying to attend one of their shows. Recently, we saw how greedy comics are willing to be with Shane Gillis hosting more than 70,000 people in Philadelphia. Take a look.
Lincoln Financial Field, featuring Meek Mill opening up the show, Matt McCusker, Big J. Okerson, Dave Chappelle, Shane Gillis himself, and 3 6 Mafia to close out the show with a concert.
All taking place in front of a sold-out crowd of 76,212 people for the largest event of any kind ever held in this stadium.
Like, that is crazy. What kind of show are you offering your fans at 70,000 people? Shane doesn't love his fans when he chooses to put on a show that large. His fans couldn't possibly hear him, and the audio quality must have been garbage. To me, that's an ego thing that Shane wanted to put on a big party for himself just to see if he could, and he never even considered if he should. If you love your fans, you should care about their return on investment on shows of yours. Just my opinion. So, I don't get the hate at Seth Simon for outing what comedians make for specific events. I thought we all agree it's a good idea. If you don't know who Seth Simon is, he's the gross little gremlin known as a sex pest, allegedly, who serves a very important purpose in calling out the hypocrisy of comedians, and I have to support that. He spends his days attacking comedians and calling out when their behavior is incongruent with their words or who they pretend to be, and this is good. He's also the guy who, rightly or wrongly, originally got Shane Gillis fired from SNL when he posted out of context clips from Matt and Shane's secret podcast. Take a look.
Everyone's least favorite journalist, Seth Simons, would make a tweet with a clip from Matt and Shane's secret podcast, which would say, quote, "Today SNL announced the hiring of its first cast member of East Asian descent, and also this guy. This again is from September 2018. Now, the clip was obviously said in jest and not with the intentions of hurting anyone.
Dude, it's fucking Chinese down there.
I wonder how that started. They just built one fucked up looking building and people were like, all right, no one said anything.
Let the fucking live there, huh?
But I think people felt the tweets were in bad faith, and I think that's why people sided with Shane. It wasn't that Seth was necessarily wrong, we just judged him for his motives for saying it, and the message was kind of ignored. For what it's worth, Seth has maintained his hatred for these celebrities and people like Shane, regardless of how it has affected his career, and he at least appears to be true to his values and has maintained them throughout his career, which I don't think most of his comedy peers can claim. Nearly all of them have sold out. I think the fact that Seth Simons is not making great money also proves that he's speaking up because he believes it's the right thing to do and not because it wins him any favor or support. He is saying what he genuinely believes is right, and I respect that tremendously. This website is a great step in forcing comedians to stop ripping off the little guy, and I encourage people to utilize it to keep tabs because the comedians are making some scary amounts of money for event hosts that sound even scarier. Like Theo Von's 2 events that both paid more than $200,000 each. What is this energy place, and why are they paying so much for a comedian to speak for an hour? How do they have that much money to spare for things like this, yet employees cannot afford to eat? These are questions we must ask, because how much is laughter worth? If you're canceled comedian Louis C.K. and it's 2025, you can make $235,000 for 2 shows. That's fucking crazy, and people need to know about this. Using public information obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests, the Comedy Fee Tracker is a searchable database of talent contracts and payment records from publicly funded venues such as public colleges and universities, and city, county, and state-owned theaters and arenas. It exists to reveal the pay disparity between headliners and openers and to show you how much a successful comedian makes an hour at publicly funded venues. I think only Inside Men are against it. If you want ticket prices to come down and tour promoters and monopolies like Live Nation and Ticketmaster to stop exploiting people, this website is the way forward. And I just have one question for all those comedians who said Seth Simons was just a loser Shane hater who would never do anything. Who do you think is having the last laugh now, motherfuckers? I bet those smug piece of shit comedians calling Seth a hater when he gave valid criticism aren't laughing now that he just made it impossible for them to keep exploiting their fans. He literally proved that petty doesn't go out of style, and I am here for it because fuck comedians exploiting their fans. Fuck having events that are too big to be high quality, fuck comedians taking zero responsibility for ticket prices and venues, and fuck them going with the status quo. They are making way too much money to not be accountable when they know it's not fair. Expect better because you deserve better. Speak up because you have a voice. Be a Seth Simons when it comes to outing petty shit, just don't be a Seth Simons when it comes to literally anything else, because I'm pretty sure he's a creep. What do you think? Is a website to easily look up comedian pay a good thing, or do you think it's none of our business what they're making? Do you think Ben and Devin are only getting defensive about the website because they don't want people to know how unfair the comedy industry is? Let me know, and thank you so much for watching.